Okay, welcome everyone. Call the meeting to order. Let's start with the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. Welcome everyone. Few housekeeping matters. The emergency exits are off to the side, to the right and left. The restrooms are out in the lobby area. If you haven't done so already, please sign the attendance sheet in the back there. Also, you will note business cards are at the back table, along with proposed resolutions. If you would be so kind as to either turn off or silence your cell phones. If you need to have a conversation that doesn't relate directly to the application that's being presented, please take it out in the hallway. As far as each application goes, what we've done and what we'd like to continue to do is, because Amber here is taking minutes, we're going to work and do our best not to talk over you, and if you would, don't talk over us. In other words, one at a time. And if that starts to happen, I will stop it and ask us to slow down so that we can have accurate minutes. As far as exhibits go, if we have the exhibits already and it's not up on the screen yet, just ask Susie and we'll get it to the exhibit that you'd like. If it's a new exhibit, let us know. We'll be happy to take new exhibits. When you're talking about the exhibit, do your very best to use either compass directions or structures, roads. Try and refrain from saying, if you notice over here, if you notice over there. That doesn't translate very well in the minutes. So descriptive language would be best. I think that pretty much covers that. Next, I would like to take care of the April 7th, 2025 minutes. And I would entertain a motion for approval, or if we can have a discussion about them.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Leah.
A second.
Thank you, Matt. All in favor? Aye. Very good. All right, first is the Harif application. On up.
I'm Dan Williams. I'm the builder of the garage.
Okay, so they're not here?
No, she's having a difficult time with her pregnancy, so they wanted me to step in and,
Very good.
yeah.
All right, so last time we were here,
Yep.
we were discussing issues or difficulties of the terrain and the topography. We do have some drawings, and we had asked the applicants for some more detail, and they provided that for us.
Yeah.
And I think maybe, Susie, the better one is the color topo map. No, the one that, more of, I think, an aerial might show a little better, unless you want to use the other one. I think that, yes, that one.
No, that's fine, yeah.
So I think we can see here that the slope, and compared to where the house is, it's a pretty steep slope, and where the red rectangle is the proposed
Yeah.
space, where the garage is, you would like it to go. Our question we had for the applicant was, because it's so close to the road, you get 5 feet from the right of way, thoughts about, can it be moved back at all, just to create a little more space from the right of way? And I think, as you know, if the board decides to grant a variance, we have to look at it in the least amount possible. All right, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so go ahead. Tell us what you think, and
So-
go ahead.
I think, so she talked to me today and she said that they're okay with going back 5 feet. I think that's what you guys asked them to do. So I would say to the 5-foot setback, they were okay with that.
That's where it is now.
No, 5 foot from where it is now.
Additional, so 10.
An additional, so instead
Yeah.
of 5 feet from the right of way, you think you could do it 10 feet from the right of way?
Yeah.
Without a lot of additional costs.
Right. If it goes back any further, it's definitely gonna get into a lot more cost. I would say another 15 feet back, you're getting into almost 20,000, just with bumping all the block up and more dirt going out and a lot of concrete. There's a lot going on there. I don't even think it's feasible to go back that far.
All right, so you think you can do it 10 feet from the right-of-way?
Yeah.
And any further would increase the cost of construction. And that's mainly excavation,
Oh, yeah.
right? Okay. And you're thinking approximately 20,000?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, that's helpful. Matt, further questions, comments, concerns?
I think I'm all right. I mean, at 5 feet, it was definitely too close to the road. I think for most of us, the last time we had gotten together on the size of the structure itself. Does it have to be 28 by 35? Is there any room to move there? I know
That's
part
what
of
they
it
wanted.
was for a car. The other part of it was more workshop
Yeah.
type area.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they wanted, so I can't tell you yes or no that. If
And
they-
you're measuring from the. Is there going to be like gutters or eaves that hang off? You're measuring
2
from
feet,
the.
yeah, they wanted 2 feet. Usually it's,
So the 10 feet is from the farthest that sticks out, right? Not
Yes.
the. Right,
Yeah.
okay. I think I'm all set.
Okay.
Thank you.
Larry?
well, I'm all set, or?
No, next, sorry.
Hold on,
I was like,
not so
okay.
fast.
Well, I read some of what happened last time, and I have some questions. So this is actually a garage, even though that's not what the application says?
Application should say garage on it.
It said storage.
Workshop. Storage, yeah, I
Look
mean,
look at the resolution.
Okay, but I was looking at the original their original proposal, and it said storage. It didn't suggest that it was actually going to be a garage. Did I misread it?
Seeking area variance for
Yeah,
a
it's
detached
definitely-
garage forward to the front line.
yeah, it's definitely a garage.
I drove by there the other day, and I guess my initial reaction is, this thing's gonna stick out like a sore thumb in the community. I mean, it really is. It's gonna, you come down the road, you're not gonna be able to miss it. It's gonna be like way up in front, and I know you've probably gone through a bunch of this at the last meeting, and that I unfortunately had to miss, but couldn't they attach it to the house? Could they, you know?
No, it's, their house is set way too far back. There'd be way too much work to put that out back. They have enough land there. I don't understand. If you go on other roads, there's definitely other houses that are a lot closer to the road than what they want for a garage, so.
Those are houses, not garages.
Maybe it can help,
It's-
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
You hit it, you
Um,
can,
What we talked about at the last meeting, the photograph that's in the upper left-hand corner, we had explored the idea of, could you put the garage up in this area? This would be, on this photograph, to the right of the home, and it looks like it's either mulch or dirt. So that was explored a little bit, and our understanding was from last meeting, it's too steep. They would really have to, a lot of excavation to try and get the garage onto the right side of the home, as well as tree removal.
But they couldn't do anything where the cars are now?
And
it would take up the whole front of their house. I mean, if I was to do a detached garage and I have that kind of land, I'm definitely putting it on that land. I think it's, if in their, they're saying, you know, instead of being up close to the road, they're gonna go back another 10 feet to make you guys happy too, so I guess it's even trade, I think, I mean,
well, let's explore the idea, and I think Larry's got a point here. Put it attached to an attached garage to the front of the home. I see the driveway slopes a bit. Can it be done? I know anything can be done.
I would never want that thing on the front of my house. I mean, that's up to
Well,
them.
ignore the fact about whether we'd like it in front of the
Yeah.
house. Can it be done?
Can it be done? Yes, anything can be done. I build probably 6, 7 additions a year, so yes, anything can be done. I mean, they just got a lot of land there. I don't see 10 feet off the road should be, I would think, fine, but that's up to you guys, I mean.
Well, it's 10 feet from right away, right? So it's a little farther from the road.
Right.
Now
So
it
it's
is, yeah.
10 feet from the right-of-way, so
Yep.
I don't have the measurement on how far it is from the actually road itself.
So it would end up being 43 feet from the center line of the road. I'm just going by our 30, adding 5 to 38 feet, right?
Yes.
Right, that's right.
Are the other parcels on that road residential parcel? I mean, they may not have a building there now.
I believe it's all residential.
Yes. Yep, it's all within the same
So
district.
yeah, it's a rural area. What caused me concern last time was the curve and a garage structure so close to the road. You know, to Larry's point, I think there are homes.
Yeah, I saw some.
Garages, the garages are in front of the house. You know, they're attached, so you see
Oh.
more of the garage, and the home is behind it.
When I first went and looked at it, I drove around and I saw homes a lot closer to the road than what they actually want that garage to be, so I don't understand what, like, if a house is at the roadside, why wouldn't a garage be okay? I don't know.
It could be, I don't know which house you're talking about, but it certainly could be that they.
I can
create-
get you addresses if you need to.
We could.
Yeah.
We could look at it further.
Yeah.
They may have, it's a pre-existing non-conforming use. So in
Yeah.
other words, they existed before the current code prohibits you from putting
Yeah,
the
no, I
garage in
get it.
front.
I get it. I just did addition on my house and they wanted everything down the road
Right.
symmetrical. So I get it. I think that would be symmetrical to a lot of other houses that are on the roadside.
Typically for rural districts, like this, being forward of the front line of the home doesn't carry as much weight, like if you're in a Ryan home development or something to that effect, right? I mean, the main issues the last time, and at least with me this time, is it really gonna be out of character? Probably not. Would the applicant be open to adding landscaping around it or something to that effect to buffer it a little bit?
Right.
Again, I think with the extra 5 feet, you're still probably, correct me if I'm wrong, I'll look to code enforcement, farther from the road than most of the car dealerships, right? Because we generally give them about 40 or 30 feet or something to that effect. So you'll find a lot of other things closer to the road and where the speed limit's higher or similar. So I think the 5 feet's a fair compromise. No one's going to want to put this on the front of the house. Given time and money, you can do anything, but I think that's a unfair ask to have them try to take the existing house and figure out how to spend a fortune to put a garage in front of it that they
Yeah,
just
that would
don't
look
wanna do
tough.
anyways.
I think when we've been out, when we've had applications in rural areas, they were 300-foot driveways, and it was well buffered, so you never even saw the fact that a structure was forward of the home. But in this case, you are going to see it.
Sure. You're gonna see the house too, right? I mean, you see the homes.
True.
And if you look at the neighborhood, you see most of the homes. There are some that are tucked back. You've got Malone Road. I mean, I don't have the address of the home that you're talking about, but I can see a couple of them here just on Google Earth on North Road that look like they're probably 40 or so
Yeah.
feet from the road. I mean, just as you drive down it.
But it's not a garage.
That might matter to you, but that doesn't matter to me. So this garage here, right, how far would you say that is from Strong Road? I mean, you're probably talking similar distance.
Isn't that an awful lot of,
Also, they decided to buffer it, right, and
Yep.
put vegetation there, and so that's their prerogative. Again, we try not to get into aesthetics here so much, but if the board, felt that that was something that they wanted, we could offer that up as a condition, but.
and
Go ahead.
none of the neighbors are commented?
We didn't have anything last time. Susie, do we have any Any, no comments on this one?
Don't have any more questions on it, still a bit not leaning in favor.
Okay, that's fine. We can circle back in a moment. Leah, questions, comments, concerns?
So when you mentioned earlier that if they went back for the total of the 15 feet, it would cost an extra 20,000
Yeah,
mostly.
20 something, like, don't, yeah.
Right, and mostly do the excavation, and that, if you push it back, isn't there, it looks from this topography map that it slopes, it kind of slopes steep
Yeah, the
downward?
drainage would be tough too, yeah.
Yeah, drainage, and
Yeah.
then that excavation is just to put some foundation
Yeah,
to
oh, yeah.
support this structure.
Yeah.
And also, are there any trees that have to be cut down
Oh,
there
I
too?
would think so. Yeah, there was a couple, and, you know, the black height would be a lot taller. It would be a big structure then, if you want to go back that far. So,
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's all I have.
yeah.
Picture right here, there's the house.
You have an address?
Yep, it's, the address of the home is 7734 North Road. And that garage is forward of the front line of the home, and it looks like it's on the right of way, probably within,
There was one
Bunch
that
of
was
feet.
really close, but listen, this isn't even my garage, so I'm just saying what I saw going through.
All right, so what we don't know is how long that garage has been there.
yeah, it's probably pre-existing, looks relatively old, but again, if we're looking for things, you really just have to go a tenth of a mile down the road,
Yeah.
and you can find your first one.
All right, so I think you understand. If you don't, let me know. But there's criteria that we have to look at. There's 5 criteria. So Susie, could you pop that up for us on the 5 criteria we can walk through a little bit? Okay, so we're required to look at these 5 criteria and plug in justifications for what we think, how we think. One doesn't really outweigh another. There's a bit of a balancing for each one of them. So just because, and I'll do number 5 first, is the alleged difficulty self-created? Well, it is, because you're asking for it, and it isn't just, it didn't drop out of the sky. But that in and of itself doesn't mean
I get
that,
it.
you know, it's not an all or nothing. So if we go up to the top and we're looking at, is it going to change the character of the neighborhood? We can say yes or no, but we got to put some justification into why it would.
I think it would look nice.
It's more than aesthetics, and it's more than just that particular parcel. It's what does the rest of the neighborhood look like? It is a factor that Matt found on, was it Google Earth? That there is a garage on North that's forward of the home.
Yeah.
So that has a factor on what is the whole neighborhood, what does that street look like? Jumping down to number 3, is it substantial? Well, it's well forward of the home. Arguably, it is substantial. Just because we say it's substantial, but the
Right.
board determines it's substantial, doesn't mean you're out.
Yeah.
So each one of us are going to try and figure that out. That's what we're looking at.
I also think, like, number 4, I think it is, you want all the neighborhood to look the same, but I think you go through Victor, there's so many homes that are different.
All right, number
in
4
each place,
has to
so-
do with, think of putting a garage in wetlands. Would it change, could it have an impact on the physical and environmental conditions of a neighborhood? You put something in a wetlands, yeah, or you dam something, that will cause a negative impact to a community.
Right.
Number 1, I think you were referring to, doesn't mean that it's a cookie Carterville and they all have to look the same. But you start in one section of, let's say, a cluster development, if you start putting garages or sheds well forward of the home, you are going to change the character of the neighborhood, as opposed to if you're out on Strong Road, it's well buffered, and you have a 300-foot driveway, no one sees the shed that's forward. Those are 2 different neighborhoods, you're going to have different impacts.
Yeah.
Okay, make sense so far?
No, it does.
Okay.
Now, is it you guys that are doing the impact on how it looks, or is it the neighborhood, like the neighbors? Because she just said no one called in for that.
True, So it would help us if the neighbors either said, yes, we're good with it, no, we're not.
Right.
But just because no neighbors said anything about it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to change the character of the neighborhood.
Okay.
It's a factor, we're gonna look at it.
I'm just,
Ask all the
it's not
questions.
in my house. I'm just spitting it back to you like.
Oh, no,
what you're
absolutely,
saying, you know?
questions are good. All right, other questions you have?
Me? No, I'm good.
All right, let's,
I do have one more
go
question.
ahead, absolutely.
In this picture, which part will face the road?
All right, you're talking
All right,
about
I'm
the
looking at
garage.
I'm looking at the garage, original design inspiration. What wall will be facing the road, or will it be the garage door, or will it be the
It's,
side of
it's,
the?
I think it's gonna be set at like more of an angle, so that you can come onto their driveway and then drive in.
Into the
Yeah,
garage.
so
yeah.
it's,
Okay,
So the garage door will point towards the house almost.
yeah,
Yes.
something like that.
okay, and so there will be more driveway created?
Yeah, like a 5-foot
Okay.
drive up, I guess, with
Okay.
concrete.
So looking at this picture here, which is the picture that shows 5 feet from the road, and it shows the driveway. The driveway will be here, and then they'll
Yeah.
do something
Yeah.
headed towards,
Yeah, so you're not gonna come right, you're not gonna jam your brakes and go into it off the road. You're gonna come just like they've been doing, drive in their driveway, and then they're gonna go in the garage.
okay.
So that, if I got it right, that arrow that the picture Larry was showing, that's gonna point at the garage door.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So,
Go ahead.
You good?
Yes.
So, let's go down the line. Leah, what do you think? On,
I'm fine with it, and I think there's enough justification that was provided that to move it even further back is not feasible because of cost and topography.
all right, so if we just run down briefly and plug in any additional information you want, but you don't think it would change the character of the neighborhood? Is that accurate so far?
Correct, yes.
All right. You don't think that they can achieve it by some other feasible means?
No,
Would you agree that it is substantial what they're asking for?
yes,
It's not going to have a negative impact on the physical and environmental conditions of the neighborhood?
correct. I don't think it will, as long as it, because nothing came up that it impacts wetlands or anything like that.
Understood. Larry, you need some more time? You want me to ask Matt what he thinks first?
No, you can ask me.
Okay, so running down the criteria, are there, as I asked Leah, do you agree with that, or do you want to have a different take on what's happening here?
No, having seen the picture of the other building on North, and now that I know that's going to, and the fact that it's going to be another 5 feet back, I wish we didn't have to do it, but I see the topography, and there's not an awful lot of place there. I'm okay.
Okay. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm in the, I think, same camp. So we can run through in more specifics of the criteria. First, the undesirable change would not be produced in the character of the neighborhood or district to nearby properties created by the granting of an area variance. The justification being the topography makes it increasingly difficult the closer it gets to the house. There is a garage that is located at 7734 North Road that has a garage forward of the primary residence, and it appears that it is close to the roadway. We don't have an exact distance, but it looks to be, again, close to the right-of-way. Also, the further it is, the proposed garage goes towards the house, there is a significant increase in cost. The builder has indicated that 10 feet should not increase the cost of construction, but any further than 10 feet from the right-of-way could increase the cost to approximately $20,000.
May I ask?
Yep.
Is that true, or could you go back another 2 or 3 feet?
What is true? I'm sorry.
Huh?
What's true?
What, right, go ahead.
Right now, we're saying go back 5 to 10. If
Yeah.
you went back 2 more feet, would it make any difference? I'm just trying to think, if the further back we can get it, the better off I'd be happy. Can it go a couple feet
I
more?
wrote the contract when it was originally where it's gonna be, so I'm just giving you numbers. If we keep going back, it's obviously gonna get more expensive.
What
Yeah,
what
I mean,
see
you're
is-
saying go back, you're trying to say go back 7 or 8 feet, then 5 feet, like, off of the original spot, right?
Yeah, that's
Right.
Right, so could we just go to the color topography map, Susie? Thank you. So I am pointing then to the edge of the, well, the corner of the proposed garage that's, I don't have a compass direction. But what I'm getting at is, if it's moved further back towards the house, you start to see more topo lines.
Right.
And correct me if I'm wrong, the closer the lines get together, the steeper the,
Yeah,
either goes up or down, but that's going
Yeah.
up. So that should indicate that you start crossing that line, you got to start cutting into Mother Earth and excavating, and
yeah,
it's going to cost money to do it.
yeah.
So already, by pushing the proposed garage back another 5 feet, you're already, looks like you're going to do some
Because the
excavating.
grade's going up, right? So
Right.
the more we go back, I gotta block it up. It's gotta be higher than the grade.
Right.
So you don't wanna keep going back, because then it's gonna look real crazy out there.
Right, at least that's what I'm basing my thoughts on the cost of it. And I think I trust the opinion of the builder, saying the further it goes back, the more costly it's going to be, and I think even 2 feet arguably is going to drive the cost up.
Does the size of this was just to the planning board as well?
No, it's
The threshold-
under 1,000 square feet.
Under 1,000, okay. all right.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to do
And I
advance?
think he told me about that. I
Oh,
was
yeah,
doing-
Adam.
I was doing a
So
deck in
I'm
Victor,
filling in tonight,
and
but-
you told me about that
Okay,
too.
yep,
So,
possibly.
yeah.
Okay, we're going to keep going? Yep. All right, anyone want to add anything to the first criteria? Second, the benefits sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance. I think we use the same justification, and the primarily, that the further back you go towards the home, the more expensive it's going to get. Would anyone like to add anything to the second criteria?
I would put in a sentence that if you did move it closer to the home or even towards the back, you might be losing some trees.
Yeah.
Okay, we can add, in addition, moving the home closer, moving the garage closer to the home would add to the cost of construction, including tree removal. Right, anything else on the second criteria? Third, the requested area variance is substantial. Given the distance from the home to the proposed garage and even the location, the original request is 5 feet from the right-of-way and is now 10 feet. I would still consider that a substantial request. Would anyone like to add or comment on the third criteria? Fourth, the proposed variance will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. We've heard nothing to the effect that the proposed location, well, now 10 feet from the right-of-way, would have a negative impact on the physical or environmental conditions. And I would add that if they were to move it further back towards the home, it potentially could cause an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. Would anyone like to add anything to the fourth criteria? Fifth, the alleged difficulty is self-created. that in and of itself does not mean that a variance can be granted or denied. Would anyone like to add anything to the criteria or consideration for conditions? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion for, oh, sorry, one more thing. Anyone from the public want to speak for or against the application? All right, hearing none, I would entertain a motion for approval.
Does the resolution now have 10 feet?
10 feet, yes, 10 feet from the right-of-way.
Motion for approval.
Thank you, Matt.
Second?
Thank you, Larry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thanks so much for your time and
Thank you.
patience, and good luck to you and your project.
All right, thank you.
All right. You are here for O'Connell Electric, is that right?
Yes, sir.
One-story, existing 2,958 square foot wood-framed pole barn. And you'd like a sprinkler waiver.
Yes, sir. My name's Alan Gadara. I'm an architect with MRB Group, representing O'Connell Electric. Also attending is Andy Dose with O'Connell Electric. They approached us looking for assistance. They are changing, they currently use it for general storage, and they have some equipment on there they'd like to store in there that is somewhat temperature sensitive. So they would need to heat the space. They're proposing to put in two radiant gas heaters overhead, and Energy Code does require that we insulate the space. So it is getting insulated with spray fireproofing to a value of R21. The interior environment will have a metal liner panel, but sandwiched between the fireproofing and the liner panel will be a half-inch gypsum board, meeting the Building Code of New York State. The Building Code of New York State does not require a sprinkler system. The town of Victor does have the requirement. We're simply asking for a waiver from that requirement. Further supporting our request is that the building does not currently have any water supply. That would make things difficult. And the building itself does exceed the minimum occupant, excuse me, the number of passive egress.
All set?
Yes, sir.
Matt, questions?
So it's purely just storage, there's no offices or anybody working in
offices.
there, generally going in and out. I did read obviously the fire marshal's comments, so those generally weigh very heavily, right? It's him and his team that would be
Correct.
potentially going in and out of these types of buildings, and so, obviously, your intent is to follow the items that he outlined in terms of, are there gonna be fire extinguishers anywhere? Are they gonna be near the egress?
There are fire extinguishers. There will be a fire sprinkler activation system, right? Did I say sprinkler? Notification system, alarm, thank you.
Okay. So there'll be alarm.
Fully
and-
alarmed.
And fire extinguishers, are they located near the entrance and exits? or
Entrance
are
and
they-
exit, they meet the 75-foot distance.
Okay. No questions for me.
Larry?
Is there water supply available in either of the
In the
other two
building adjacent to, but there's a big parking lot in between.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And in the review that the fire marshal said, you know, he said about combustible liquid stored in the fire cabinetry, but it's not your intent to store anything in this building.
No, if there is anything small, they do have a UL-rated fire cabinet to install those in,
Okay,
just storage.
okay. Okay, no more questions, thank you.
All right, you mentioned earlier that Victor requires it and New York State doesn't.
Correct.
Does New York State have any kind of firefighters that if there's a fire, they're going to come over and put it out? I think the answer is no. It was a
Make
bit of a
great point.
rhetorical
The local
question.
requirement
Right.
does,
I think we are fully aware that New York State doesn't require it, Victor and Fishers are responsible for the firefighting. And the intent of the code primarily is if there is a fire, is being able to put it out safely, not only for the people that are on the ground, but the firefighters themselves. And metal buildings, my understanding, causes an additional problem. If they don't know what's in the building, causes problems. What you do have in your corner is you have the fire marshal giving you some thoughts about what could be done to make the firefighters feel a little more at ease. Did you have a chance to look at that?
I read all the review he sent me.
So are you good with complying with all of those conditions? That the modification in accordance with the building and energy codes of New York, you're going to comply with all those?
Yes, sir.
Putting the sprinkler issue aside.
Correct. Yes.
It's got a fire alarm system. Is it already in?
No, you're in contract to have it installed. Yeah.
So it's going to go in?
Yes.
And what's the time frame of that going in?
We get permit approval.
Come on, we can't hear you.
Once the permit is approved and the variance is approved, we've already ordered the system.
Right, so it's a sprinkler waiver. It's not a variance. So if the waiver is granted today, how long is it going to take you to get the fire alarm system up and running?
Once we receive materials, equipment, maybe a week or two.
Okay. So if, in the conditions, if we say that it is equipped and the alarm system is running and functional within 30 days from the date if the waiver's granted, that is going to happen, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And as far as combustible, go ahead.
I make a suggestion on that?
Go ahead.
Can you bump it to 45, because our review period, so say everything gets approved, they submit the application, we have up to a 3-week review period. So I don't want that holding them up from the 30 days that you guys would assign.
Fair. Thank you.
Might be overthinking a bit, but a little bit extra time to get hung up on
Our code enforcement officer is saying 45 days, if the waiver's granted today, it'll be running functional, sounds like long before, but 45 days. All right, combustible liquids will be stored in a flame-rated cabinetry. That can be done?
Yeah,
Is it done currently, or,
absolutely.
okay.
Do you need to have those materials stored in this building?
They do and they don't. This is a special group within O'Connell that stores their equipment in there, so
Okay.
when they go in, they'll grab some test equipment, and then they might need some lubricants for
Okay.
specific jobs.
Okay,
It's housed in those cabinets already.
okay.
Where are they housed now? I mean, where is the equipment that is coming in being housed now?
It's spread between some Verdi containers, and then there's some areas within the back warehouse in the office building that they have. It's just very congested.
Thank you. All right, we have to fill in some of this criteria then, or not some of it, all of it. The undue economic hardship. In other words, how much is it going to cost to put a sprinkler system in there?
$50,000 to $60,000.
And where are you getting that number from?
That's from Davis Ulmer. They currently monitor our system and maintain it.
Is that a recent estimate, or?
Yep.
So it can be done, right? So as far as the physical or legal impossibility, you can do it, it's just, it's gonna cost you $50,000, $60,000 to do it, is that accurate?
Yep.
If the board denies the waiver, what's your alternative?
Spend a lot more money.
You'd have to do it. There's really no other alternatives. You would put the sprinkler system in at a cost of $50,000, $60,000, right?
Correct.
All right. Any other questions, concerns from the board? Anyone from the public want to speak for or against it? Susan, no one's online for this? No comments. All right, we're all comfortable so far? Okay. All right. So we'll run through it quickly again. For our minutes, the undue hardship, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Andy. Has indicated that a cost of $50,000 to $60,000 to install the sprinkler system is the basis for the undue economic hardship. As far as the legal or physical impossibility, it can be done, but to the tune of $50,000, $60,000, I would think creates a bit of a impossibility to do that. The intent and objectives, I think this ties into the fifth criteria that we have feedback from our fire marshal, Robert Graham, indicating that he's comfortable with it, provided that the New York State and energy codes of New York are followed. There will be an equipped fire alarm system that the owner has indicated that if the board grants the waiver, will be up and running in 45 days or less. And currently, combustible liquids are being stored in a flame retardant cabinetry. That should cover the fifth criteria. And as far as the viable alternatives, the owner has indicated that if there was a denial, that they would have to spend $50,000 to $60,000 for installation of the sprinkler system. Would anyone like to add comment on our criteria that we're looking at for the sprinkler waiver? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion for approval of the sprinkler waiver.
Move to approve.
Larry, a second.
Second.
Thank you, Leah. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Thanks so much for your time. Good luck to you.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. And you are?
I am Carly Moynihan, Marketing Coordinator for Morel Builders, here with,
And I'm Bill Areno, Director of Sales for Morel Builders.
so we're here today to propose our sign at our new development, Highline Park.
Good for two variances, right?
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct, two
Before they
variances.
start, could I ask a question? Okay, I'm confused about what our building inspector said as far as why this is a commercial area. Since it seems to me like it's all residential.
That is, go ahead, you can answer that.
So it's the zoning district in which the property lies. Let me get to Adam's comments here.
So the zoning district itself is commercial,
No, so,
sorry.
bear with me here.
okay?
It's a mixed-use residential allowing both single-family townhomes and multiple dwelling apartment buildings. So that's what the Highline Park development was approved on.
Right.
For. It's in the Route 96, 251 overlay district. So it's a planned development district.
Okay.
So you've got, it's a mixed-use district. You have both. Commercial, I wouldn't say necessarily light industrial, but there's some minor industrial type things, so it's a very mixed district. It's an overlay of both. So if you read Adam's notes, and I concur with him, it's basically a business use sign in an area that the town tries to limit that. So while it's a residential development, it's townhomes, it's rentals, you know what I mean? It's a business in nature versus strictly residential.
Okay. I think I got that in my head.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't have, questions are good.
It just surprised me when I saw it.
Yep, understood.
Just to bring you up to speed, so we originally came into all of these to be rentals, and then we came back to the board and change the 26 townhomes to be for sale units. So we're currently putting some concrete gutters down and gonna put a model very soon. We've already sold a few of the units in there. And then the proposed 3 buildings there that are approved, those obviously would be our residents for rentals for the apartments.
So on the, we got this right. So our buildings 1, 2, and 3, those are the rental units?
Yes, they are.
Correct?
3-story, 40-unit buildings.
Okay, keep going.
And we're just trying to create a sign that is equal in nature to the community and also, or to our community, and then fits in the scope of what's on Main Street Fishers there. We are surrounded on the one side by some commercial and light industrial, and on the other side we have residential. That's the only trade in the middle.
So in a nutshell, would you agree that if all the units, including those units in buildings 1, 2, and 3, were for sale? In other words, they're not rentals, not leases, they were all homeowners that owned them. You wouldn't need the variance for the sign.
Correct.
Right, it's because of that you've got some rentals in there makes it a business type of use.
That's
Right,
what
just
we're
wanna make
being
sure
told, yes.
we're on the same page.
Yeah.
And then consider it more of a community neighborhood.
Right, okay. So, keep going, unless you're done.
No, and so incorporated into our monument sign here at the entrance, we're proposing a solar downlight onto the, what will be composite aluminum sign that's printed out. And so the light will only shine down onto the sign itself just to help guide our residents or visitors, anyone who should come into the community, guide them in at night.
Given that it is in a unique area that Morel decided to build it in there, in that where it is zoned, it is different than, let's say, Morel's development in Silverton, that's all residential, they own them all, or other developments that are in Victor. It's unique because of the district that it's in, its zoned district, right? All right, are you aware, hopefully you do know, it's been referred to the county planning board? So we can't make a decision today, we're just here to get some facts for them. And the next time, but they would hear it on the 14th, and then we would have you back here on the 19th for hopefully a determination.
Okay.
All right. Leah, want to start with questions?
On the main street that you come off of, are there any street lights there?
No,
No,
no.
no street lights. So the proposal for this sign where it says the High Line, I saw in the notes that you were going to reduce it from 35 to 29 feet. Did I read that correctly?
You mean from the right-of-way? Or from,
No, I thought, unless I read something wrong, I thought it
oh,
was.
the size of the sign
The
itself?
size of it.
Yeah, we did take, from our original plans, we took the sizing down quite a bit, just to fit your regulations, and then also to fit better within the development that we're planning now. So it was originally planned to be on the left side of the entrance itself, within the grass
Right.
area.
Yeah.
But we have a median there, so we decided that to not disrupt the left and right side, we would put it in the planned median. And then that would also comply with your sizing.
And it would, and now that it's in the median, it would be, as you're coming down the street, it would be facing you, so you would
Correct.
see it. so
Yep, it
you
would be
see it.
front facing instead of at an angle on
Okay.
one side or the other.
And then, you are aware, because when I looked at some of the developments in Victor, you know, not all of them, but most of them that I saw did not have lighting, even though I see that your lighting is just over the sign, just so you can see the name, and because like you said earlier, there's no lighting in the street. But there was only one little development that I saw that has signs. But on a lot of the other developments where the streets don't even have lighting, there is no sign, so you're aware of that as well?
Sure, we did find a few in the area, nearby residential that do have some lights, and I know some of those might have been passed before this area variance went into place. A few have been downlit. I have a few examples that are downlit on a median sign as well, on a commercial residence or commercial business,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
We've also had experience with Dunwood Green, our neighborhood in Henrietta, across from Locust Hill Country Club.
Oh, yes.
And we did not put a light on that sign, and the residents actually required, or asked for it. And we went back to the town and got approval for it. It seemed to be convenient, for the residents to see the sign
Yeah.
at entrance.
Yeah, okay. That's all I have for now, Mike.
Larry?
I am looking at the picture of the sign, and then I am looking at the map. The picture of the sign will face Fishers.
Correct. Oh, face
Face
Fishers.
Face the road.
Face the road,
Yep,
Fishers.
Main Street Fishers.
Fishers, I'm
It'll
sorry.
face.
Correct?
Yep.
So anyone who's coming down the street will not see the sign. Correct? Until they get right on top
Close
of the
enough,
sign.
I would say, similar to any other sign as you're driving up. It won't be at an angle, but we've designed it, and I think we've placed it strategically so that as you're approaching, you'll be able to see it. I'm not sure if you have driven past the area, but,
It drove right into your
Yep.
gravel lot.
which will soon hopefully be pavement, but, on both sides too, as you notice, it's kind of a grade that goes upwards, so everything is set back over that hill. So placing it there will stand out enough so that even though you can't see the buildings behind it, we do need that sign so that residents are aware of what is behind that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
What are you said there were two variances. What are the two? Obviously, one's for the sign to identify itself as a subdivision. What's the second one for the lighting?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm okay with it. I mean, I've seen plenty of subdivisions that have entrance signs. To be honest, it probably isn't gonna make a difference to have somebody, I'm not kind of buying that it's there for people to find it. I mean, I think it's just my opinion. They'll find it with Google Earth, just like we find everything else. But it does, I think, kind of add to just the overall appeal to the, to the area and kind of, basically establishing, right, this is our neighborhood, or this, so to me, I'm totally okay with that. There doesn't have to be a safety aspect to it. We really don't make decisions based on safety here. It's far enough away from the road. I think that the sign is, other than the lighting, the sign is within the code's specification and the size of it. To talk about the lighting, do you have to have it? Is it considered, I guess it's really not considered landscape lighting, but,
Yep, like we mentioned, I think there aren't any street lights on that street and around that area. So on a night like tonight, when it's rainy and it's dark, I believe that having the light on there will make it easier for people to identify it.
We also try to limit the pollution and do it the right way, just lighting the sign itself.
facing that.
Yep.
Plus, I think when you think about a residential neighborhood, we've built many of them, and you kind of rely on the person that might have that easement to that sign or maintenance of that sign or an HOA. In this situation, we're going to continue to own the apartment complex, so it'll be our responsibility to maintain.
That was gonna be my next question, is whose responsibility is it?
Yeah, I mean, this is something we want to reflect the neighborhood, and we try to put a nice sign together to, people feel good about pulling in their community.
Okay.
Fair to say construction is ongoing, is it not? Oftentimes, when there is a proposed sign, a monument sign like this, we ask that it be staked or have a temporary sign, saying this is where the sign is going to go, this is how big it's going to be. It's kind of a two-part question. Can you do it? And if you can, would it impede the construction vehicles going in and out? Because we certainly don't want to cause more trouble with that.
I believe we can make it work with, I mean,
I mean, if we had to, I think it's something.
All right, let me do a poll. Leah, would you be interested to see where that sign, proposed sign
Yes.
would be, how big it is,
Yes.
both width and height?
Yes.
Larry? You, all right, you're indifferent, that's fine.
Indifferent as well.
Okay, all right, so, I'm a bit indifferent as well. What I'd like to know, though, is have a better schematic of exactly where you want that sign. Because right now, this color map doesn't give us specifics about how far it is off the road, how far it is up the right-of-way. I can see, you get your measurements, that's all fine and good.
Yeah.
So can you do that for the next time?
definitely, yeah, I can
Sure.
provide those plans.
All right.
We've got them.
We've got an engineer on staff. We can
Right,
get
the
it.
other part, I have a concern, Susie, if you could pop that monument sign back up, please. I see Highline Park, a bit like Silverton Glen, but on the bottom, you have A Morel Community. To me, you're trying to hit two birds with one stone. Now you're advertising a business. Not a community, not a development, but a business. How critical, is that a deal breaker to get that off? And if the board decides, say, no, you're only gonna get Highline Park, no Morel Community, how does the Morel
We've been
brothers feel about that?
consistent. I mean, we've been consistent, all of our signs,
Silverton doesn't have that.
since, I think Alpine Ridge, we did in Pittsburgh. I think most of our signs now.
All due
have that.
respect, last I knew Pittsford is not in Victor.
No,
Quail,
yeah,
Quail Bridge, or.
I'm not sure if that has that.
It does, but,
Yeah.
I know that was quite a while ago. But, I mean, from a marketing standpoint, sure, I think consistency with our product is one thing, not that we're,
What it sounds like, you're trying to let the community know that this is a residential area, right? And you're trying to get a little bit of inadvertent advertising. But now, to me, you may be crossing the line a little bit on using not only Highline Park, but you're also trying to get Morel's name in there permanently to let everybody know that this is a Morel development.
sure. I mean, the residential community as well that is behind there, which will be owned by us, managed by us for years to come, is a Morel community.
So there's a business in there, right? I mean, that's part of the reason why we have the variance in front of us, right?
So right now, it's a concern of mine. Bring it to your attention, bring it to the board's attention. We're not going to decide on it today. I would suggest that you ask the Morels how they feel about that. Is it a deal breaker? Is it a hard stop? No, we gotta have some type of feel.
We're gonna listen to the board
Okay.
and your advice.
Fair enough.
But it's a brand we're trying to create.
I'm just one member, that's all.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Any other questions from the
I was
board?
gonna say one thing as well.
Go ahead.
Are you open to, so one thing that often follows these are gonna be A-frame signs that say, you know, 2 apartments available for lease, or, you know, that are just out there constantly. Are you okay with conditions that say you're not gonna pepper the front of that sign or that area with A-frames that are gonna talk about,
But we have for sale units there.
or those, yeah.
So those are the A-frames that we put up during the open hours, or a flag that says open. So do we have those at Dunwood? Not sure.
We do not have them at Dunwood?
No. We don't have the apartment complex, but during the 26 sale, the sale of the 26 townhomes, which we've already sold 3 of them. I think once we get it up, I think we'll be done with sales in 12 months. But for the for sale part, I do like to have that open, A-frame on that.
I think they could do it the for sale, it's the lease.
The lease, yeah, I'm thinking of the business part, because I'm thinking, you could, not, like, in my mind, I'm going,
I think
I would support what, if Mike says, or supporting what Mike's saying is, if you have to get rid of the, Morrell Brothers community, then I'm thinking in return, we're gonna end up seeing our A-frame signs that say, for lease by the Morrell Brothers, right? Or one of those dancing, wind, things or
We haven't
something
done
like that you
those,
see in
I
front of a car dealership. And so, I'm just trying to look a couple steps ahead to say, in my opinion, it's probably one or the other. Like, if you really want to have, Morel community, then there may be some kind of condition that says, that's it. Like, no, for the community itself, no, no dancing wind socks or anything
No,
like that.
just for the for sale, I like the A-frame, but from the leasing standpoint, we don't need any of that.
Let us just double check. Let me ask our code enforcement officer before I get to you, Leah. If I had that right, for sale signs, they can be up there. It's the lease signs that are the wrinkle for,
Yeah, or any extra signs that come out, the flag, feather signs, anything that pops up, generally requires a permit and review before they go up. And that seems to be the issue here, is the different, the residential versus the commercial and business use end of it.
right.
So that's the common theme, and it's a valid point.
Okay, all right, Leah, got a question?
Yeah, just for the for sale signs, don't you typically have that up just during the construction and towards the end of construction to let the public know those lots are for sale or homes are for sale?
Yeah,
That's, once you sell all the units, you will not have that up.
No.
And the individuals who sell them, they do their own thing.
There's only 26 units,
Yeah.
so it's not a big community at all. So I would imagine by next spring, we should be sold out.
Could the individuals put up the sign in front?
Oh, yeah.
In front
But
of
I
it?
think, if I understand what Leah's saying is the Morel logo for sale, unit for sale,
But, hold on.
once Morel sells and they're out of the development, well, they won't be forever out of the development, but they'll be out of the for sale piece,
Yeah.
which is beyond the leasing piece.
But someone who owns a piece of property in the for sale piece is allowed to put a sign up by the road where they don't, they can put a sign in front of their house.
Yeah, they can put it in front, I
But
don't
they're
know
not
if the
gonna put
HOA
one up by the
allows.
monument.
I think it's just in the window
I-
itself, to be honest with you. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
or-
the HOA says you can only put a sign in the window. During construction, we're allowed, that's in the HOA, but once you resell in the neighborhood, I think you can only put a sign in the window.
But the
In the
temporary
window of
sign
the
for like an
house?
open house, Right, for like an open house, you're right.
Or
Yeah, open
like an
house,
open
yeah.
house,
Right.
yeah.
There's the hour and a
that's-
half you're there, you should put up A-frames. Yep.
Okay?
Okay.
Answer your question?
Yes.
All right, good. Any other more questions? Leah, Larry, Matt?
Yep.
Susie, anyone,
No comments.
no comments? Anything from the public, want to speak for or against? Okay, we're good for now. We will see you back on the 19th.
With a more, should we email that engineer drawing in then? We'll get that
Yes,
to
if you could do that
Okay.
for the location of the sign, that would be great.
Excellent.
And feedback from, I'm guessing Scott, whomever. There, I would like to know, but I think I know what their answer is going to be. But let's talk about that some more, on how important is that a Morel community stay on that sign.
Okay.
All right, and I think the county planning board's gonna have a few things to say about it. I don't know what they will, but.
Okay.
All right, good enough? Anything for us?
For your time, appreciate it.
You're welcome, have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
19th,
You'll not be here tonight.
not be here, May 19th.
That would put us down to 3, maybe.
It's over.
You said the 19th.
Hold on.
All right.
Well, you might have me. Might be stuck with me, hold on.
Want to get back to me, let me know?
I got it right here in this stupid app that reminds me every day. I will not be here.
Okay. Larry, as far as you know, you're going to be here, Leah?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any other business before the board? Hearing none. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second. Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you, everyone.